Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Well. Welcome everybody here to Go Locker Race Series here on VSRN for the Right Now Roofing Xfinity Series here on Tuesday night. I'm Eddie Smith, and we're glad to have everybody here watching tonight. We're going to put on a really good show. As you can see, Miles the Monster back there behind the logo, and we are at Dover again this week. And man, I sure do love this track. Cannot wait to get this thing going. The Xfinity car at Dover. This is the perfect combo in my eyes for incredible racing. It challenges the driver. It challenges the league admins. And you know what? This track is like a mini Darlington. It'll chew you up and spit you out. We'll see who can get it done tonight. Who's got what it takes to get this thing done. But want to thank our sponsors, Right Now Roofing, for their sponsorship of the Xfinity Series. They have been an amazing partner this season. I want to thank them. Jam Printing and Promotions, a staple here at Goat Locker. And here tonight, they'll be associate sponsor along with Veterans for Life Foundation. And, of course, Premier Racing Setups, a sponsor this season for VSRM and also the Goat Locker Truck Series. They're providing the setups, and so far been really, really good. So if you're interested in some setups, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't call all of them. I don't have personal experience with every setup, but those Truck Series setups have been pretty amazing. So definitely check them out. I would imagine they're pretty good all the way around. Let's take a look at your schedule this season. And so far, it's been really, really good. I mean, right now, we've got 3 different winners so far in 3 different races. We've got Daytona, Vegas, and Nashville. Your 3 winners, Jacob Denson, Trevor McManus, and Jacob Ellingson. So it's been a lot of fun tonight. Will we have 4 winners, or one of those drivers have a repeat? I'll tell you right now, Trevor McManus is on top of the board for qualifying, and he's looking to try to make that happen. But the other 2 winners are sitting there in third and fourth with Mike D'Amico there in second place. Amico, I'm going to butcher that name for sure. But you see the schedule. We've got Dover this week and then Pocono, Richmond, Atlanta. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hold on. We got Dover Motor Speedway tonight. We'll take a look at the track details before we get this thing rolling. Just a few more minutes left in this qualifying session. Opened in 1969, capacity of 58,000 people. And right there, at a mile long. So it's their monster mile. Man, just one of my favorite tracks on the circuit for NASCAR. If it ever goes away, I'll be really, really upset. I'm actually not too happy that it's called Dover Motor Speedway now. It's kind of a weird combination they changed into, but it just puts on fantastic racing. So can't wait to see how this plays out. And we're getting ready to get back into the grid in just a moment. But right now, I mean, Jacob Denson, 6th at the top of your point standings. Now here in Goat Locker, they do have 2 drop weeks, so the point standings really don't matter. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because pretty much your 3 winners are going to be at the top of the standings until we start dropping off races. So being that it's only race number 4, after this race, we'll start to see a clearer playoff picture going into the next few races. So let's go ahead and jump right into the grid. We'll see who's starting on the front row here tonight. Trevor McManus will take the top spot as he's already got a win. He is looking for that win number 2. And you got Mike D'Amico. Somebody sent me this. It says Mike D'Amico on his name, but in the message I've been sent, it's D'Amico. So there we go. Mike D'Amico is what that is. So we'll apologize to him later, but we're going to get it right, I promise. Jacob Denson, and one of your other winners, is going to start in the 3rd position with Jacob Ellingson outside of row number 2. Then you got Patrick Drabick and Alex Cruz there side by side. Chance Taylor, Scott Phelps going to be in 7th and 8th. 9th is going to be Joe Yates making his debut, I think, here in this series. And George Jewell there in the top 10. Brandon Barrier in the 11th position with Johnny Cofield or Mark Cofield, whatever you want to call it. Going to start in 12th. Colton Lanford going to start 13th with Jimmy Cofield in 14th. Jamie Perkins in 15th with Dustin Hardy there in the 16th position. 17th position is Jeremiah Holt, and Bobby Germain is going to roll off in the 18th position. In 19th is John Anthony with Charlie Harcum in 20th position. Chris Sawyer, Matt Knights. Got Randy Busquet there in 23rd, nailed it. Jason Kraft in 24th, and Doug Ellingson going to round out your field here tonight. What a great grid as we go ahead and see where everybody's at. And they are in the cars ready to roll as the pace car starts to roll out here as we get ready for an awesome, awesome race. Let's talk a little bit about the race details. What can we expect tonight? Well, we're in the Xfinity cars, of course. Fixed setup, 100 laps, 4 tire sets, and that 1 fast repair. And I'm going to tell you right now, that fast repair is going to be used by a lot of people because when you come off a turn, and we'll take a look at it on the inside in-car cameras, but when you see how the track is, you look at it right there. You see how the track, it has a roller coaster type feel. And then they come off the corner, and you're just going so fast that those exits of turn 2 and turn 4 are going to be really, really nasty here tonight. So look for that to be a big, big issue for folks. Well, already, pace car is going to come around through 3 and 4 and duck into the pit road. And then we're going to get these 100 laps, or 115 laps actually, underway here tonight. Pace car is in. Trevor McManus. And green flag is out here at Dover. Well, coming across the start-finish line, Trevor McManus was able to hang on to that top spot for now, but Jacob Denson and Mike D'Amico are battling hard for that second place. And Denton, who really dominated a few weeks ago at Vegas, hadn't had the same luck at the other two tracks. So tonight we're going to see if he's ready to move on and kind of set his flag, stake his claim of this Xfinity championship as we look on board with him right now as he's trying to hunt down Trevor McManus. Trevor, in the Goat Locker Series last week in the Truck Series on Friday, man, had a great start, got out front, burned his tires up. So we'll see if he changes that here tonight and starts to maybe set a little pace, try not to pull away too much. He was battling side by side with Jonathan Cofield for so many laps, which ended up hurting them both. Late race caution kind of changed it all. But I think if you're Trevor, you got to think about maintaining that pace. This track will chew you up and spit you out and will chew up your tires for sure, as you'll want to push that throttle and you'll be able to, but you don't always have to. You see somebody gets in the wall. That was Patrick Drabick. Oh, somebody else way down to the inside. I can't see who that is, but Patrick Drabick already making contact with the wall. It's way too early with that, but they do have that faster pair. Is up front. Looks like Jacob Denson looking down to the inside, but not quite able to do it. And Mike D'Amico going to look up to the outside in that number 29 machine. These guys, you drive this car down in the corner, you actually see them kind of push up the track a little bit in the middle, and then you'll see we'll watch one lap here on Mike D'Amico's car. You see how they drift up in the middle, and then they point the car down on exit because it is a straight shot off the corner. You need to be straight. You cannot be turning that wheel on exit, or you'll do exactly what Patrick Drabick did and hit the wall. But that is how you get around this track. Very much like Darlington, you have to hit the exits perfect. If you stay down too low, and especially if the tires start to wear, and that car pushes up to that outside wall, it just comes up so fast. So far, so good. No caution. We've seen a couple drivers make contact with the wall, but nothing to bring out a caution. We saw somebody way down on the inside a few laps ago, but they were able to save it. And that's a dangerous thing. Likely what you'll see is guys hitting the wall off of turn 2 or turn 4 and then going down to that inside wall and smacking that inside wall and giving the old 1-2 to that Xfinity car. We got Jamie Perkins, who is on pit road, so he must have made some sort of contact as he's got a lot of damage. We do have a faster pair, so I don't know if he just had to tow maybe. Maybe hit the wall. Not really sure, but he is on pit road. That's early. Mike D'Amico and Jacob Denson battling side by side with Jacob Ellingson. They're waiting in the wings. And we're going to see what some side-by-side action looks like. And it is so tempting to not give up this track position. And you can see Jacob Denson trying to use that outside line. Use the fact that D'Amico is not able to exit like he needs to. And he's holding on pretty tight, but you just got to wonder, oh, and Denson's going to get in the wall, and they almost make contact. I mean, D'Amico was almost got right hooked into the wall there. That was very, very close. So you can see Denson, you kind of wonder, why don't just let it off, kind of let those guys go, give up the position early. And you see he's having to fight so hard. Now he's going to fall into the clutches of Patrick Drabick and Alex Cruz. So not a great start here for Denson. He was pushing for the lead here early, but now it's falling back to 4th place. Well, somebody who is on the move right now as he's looking down to the inside of what that is, the 97 of Johnny Cofield or Mark Cofield. Charlie Harkle started in the 20th position, already up to 3rd. Oh, it looks like Johnny going to get close to that wall there, and Charlie saw it and actually gave him a little bit of room, and that's the difference. That would have been a wreck if Charlie wouldn't have been paying attention. That awareness through the roof there, so he was able to get by that without any issues. So move Charlie up to the 12th position. Now he's up 8 spots from where he started. He is on the move and really trying to get up towards the front. And, I mean, we've been green so far. We've seen a lot of contact out there, but so far so good. And these laps will click off really quickly, so Charlie's going to have to get with it. He doesn't have a whole lot of time to waste starting so deep in the field. That's why qualifying is so important here at a track like this and pretty much anywhere these days with how aero dependent these cars can be. And with this green flag racing, you see, I mean, he's already 7.5 seconds back from the lead. That's going to be tough. Caution is out, though, as it looks like Jamie Perkins, after going down pit road, getting some damage fixed after towing, comes back out on track. And we have our first caution of the night. Let's see if we can go back and find out what happened to Jamie. Gets up into the wall a little bit, see some contact. He's staying up against the wall, so obviously not having a good night. He's actually driving up against the wall. Going to come back down the track right in front of somebody. I don't know who that was. That was Doug Ellingson. Go on board with Doug, see what that looked like. Jamie just trying to get out of the way. You know, it's so tough. These cars are moving so fast. And you're going to see Jamie finally get it off the wall. He's going to come right down in front of Doug Ellingson. Good Lord, the whole damn hood comes off as Jamie going to be parked there on the bottom line. So we will have our first caution of the night. Now, will they come down pit road? I don't know if they will after only 15 laps. I think you'll have a pretty nice advantage with tires, but with just the 4 sets, I don't know if it's worth coming down right now. We'll see what they decide to do. We got a couple people that have come down pit road. Bobby Germain, along with George Jewell, Dustin Hardy, Jeremiah Holt, and Randy Busquet, all bringing their machines. We'll see if they take fuel only or if they take tires. 2 tires would be a massive waste. So I don't think we'll see anybody with 2 tires like Bobby Germain just takes fuel only. We check in on Dustin Hardy. He's right now looks like he's getting all 4 tires. See the left side go up. So Dustin Hardy, going to be watching out for him as he is, looks like he's got some damage to fix too. We're seeing a lot of that from these fellas who have already made contact with the wall. So he takes 4 tires, going to get some damage fixed. Jeremiah Holt in that 26 machine, he is going to do the exact same. And so we're going to have some 4 tires out there. I think it's a little bit too early. You know, if it goes green all the way from here, I think it's a good strategy, but it feels like it's going to be a little bit early. I don't think this is going to be our only caution here tonight. Now, we do have some cameras here tonight. Got the old faithfuls. We've got Jacob Ellingson, Patrick Drabick there on the top, and then Trevor McManus. You see him talking over strategy with his teammates, talking about the car, what's it doing. Maybe one of his teammates looking for some advice, and he is trying to manage this race right now. Been out front the whole time, led every single lap, and listen, you can see he's focused and ready to go, is trying to get that second win on the season. Well, I love Dover, and it's so hard to tell you why I love Dover without you just racing it and feeling the difference of what it's like to race at a track like this. It's just so unique. It's the same with Darlington. It just offers a challenge that is so different than others. A lot of your cookie-cutter tracks, even your short tracks, feel the same. You kind of drive them the same way. You know, the 1.5 miles, you drive down to the bottom, you roll back on the throttle, or if it's at Homestead, you drive up to the outside and you just try to work the throttle. Those are fun. They're amazing. But this track just is a whole different animal, just the way that the exits of the corner really close up. It looks like there's space for 2 or 3 cars, but I promise you, you need every bit of that track to make speed, and that's where the difference is. You're going to see these drivers really spread out, as this type of track really separates, some really, I'm not gonna dog anybody, but it definitely separates the men from the boys or the women from the girls at this track, because if you don't hit it right, and you got to be consistent. You can hit it right every once in a while, but if you're not consistent with it, you will lose time lap after lap. It feels a lot like a road course in that sense, where you got to drive the track right. You do not have a whole lot of leeway when it comes to hitting that line. So, just such a fun track. It's so fast. You feel the speed when you're driving off in the corners. You really can stomp on that throttle, make these cars rotate, and it's a blast. I'm almost a little jealous being up in the booth here tonight. But glad to be here with y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying the race so far. We got a lot of storylines as we move through the season, but loving to see these new guys here, folks that I've never seen race, get up here and mix it up. And see Trevor McManus with a massive lead here is Mike D'Amico kind of hanging back here on this restart. That's going to give Trevor a really nice start here on this restart at lap 19. Oh, D'Amico going to kind of squeeze Denson into the wall there. As we're almost 3 wide towards the back here. Look at this. Up front, though, Mike D'Amico goes down to the bottom, and they're going to make a little bit of contact as Trevor. Not the type of guy to just give it to you. I talked about that a little bit earlier with Jacob Denson. You know, maybe we just give up a spot, but Trevor don't know what that means. And he has won a lot of races with that mentality. You can still see he's still pushing, but D'Amico going to be able to take over that spot with a slide job. And here comes Trevor, not going to be denied. And he is not looking to play second fiddle to anybody here tonight as he's going to push up off the corner. I think D'Amico, though, seems to have the little bit faster car at the moment and able to get the run down the straightaway he needs. And he'll take over that top spot. So D'Amico up to the top of the leaderboards in that Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. But man, it's going to fall back to second. Ellingson has moved his way up into third, and Denson, one of the guys started up front and drove up front, now sitting in fourth spot with Patrick Drabick and Alex Cruz kind of lingering on back here. They're kind of hanging back. That's what you expect out of these drivers. Take a look at Patrick here as he is right where he started and just keeping the leader. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to pass a bunch of cars right now. He just has to keep that leader in his sights. If that leader starts to pull away, you got to feel a little urgency. But right now, he hasn't lost sight of him. Keeps within just a second. I mean, first through fifth is 0.8 of a second. That's how close these guys are running at the moment. And we already saw one mistake. That's all it could take for somebody to fall back and be able to take over that spot. So Patrick just trying to settle in here. Still a long way to go. There's a little bit of contact there for Jacob Ellingson. Push that car just a little bit too harder. Now, why does it push out to the exit? Well, you get on the throttle too soon, and that car will kind of almost feels like it digs into the concrete. When you do that, if you have not gotten the rotation that you need through the middle of the corner off the exit, that front end will sail out towards the wall. That's why they do that. We'll go on board here with Jacob Ellingson to kind of give you an idea. And you have to drive down in the corner here. You have to carry a lot of speed. Maybe give it a little bit of brake just to turn it here, and you want to turn down, point that car, and that car is fighting you right now. And you can see Trevor get into the wall a little bit, but that car fights you. When you get on the throttle right here, he's back on the throttle, and that car is fighting. It wants to go out to that wall. It wants to go out there so bad, and you have to make sure you keep the wheel into it and keep the throttle in. If you get on that throttle a little bit too soon, it will sail the front end, and you'll be stuck headed out towards the wall. And here at Dover, if you have to lift after that point, it's not going to help you. You're going to end up smacking that wall. So Denson, though, going to look down to the inside of Ellingson. Ellingson going to fight back there on the exit. Denson almost had him cleared, and you see he wasn't able to get him cleared and actually almost loses the whole position back. So Denson going to go after it again as the tire run kind of moves on. And these tires start to wear a little bit. It's going to be Owen Patrick in the wall again. But he's going to get in the wall, and he's going to get to the outside of Jacob Denson. Patrick really pushing it here. The new damage model on iRacing, I've got to give them a lot of kudos. Back in the day, some contact like that would pretty much ruin your day. But they have definitely worked on that a little bit. It's going to make a little bit of contact again as Alex Cruz. Oh, he wants to go 3 wide so bad. But going to kind of settle behind Jacob Denson as Patrick going to try to stop the bleeding here. But you just see there's not enough room. There's not a whole lot of room to go side by side for too long. And also, we talked about it a little bit earlier, it can also really hurt your tires. See Joe Yates Also, Brandon Barrier getting to the wall. These guys starting to feel these guys pull away as Trevor and Mike D'Amico are out to a 1.5 second lead already. So I talked about that a little bit earlier, how quickly and how consistent you need to be to stay out front. And, man, Trevor is not playing around. He is still being aggressive. These guys are 32 laps into this set of tires, and it looks like Trevor has done a good job of maintaining that tire. Oh, D'Amico kind of pinches him down a little bit on the exit, trying to defend that lead. So these guys are racing hard for this position as caution comes out. It looks like Johnny Cofield has had some sort of contact. Chance Taylor lost his bumper on the front stretch right in front of the leaders. He's going to bounce out of here, and we'll got our second caution of the night. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. See Chance Taylor here down on the inside. Guys going around him on the outside. Going to make a little bit of contact with that apron. Got the 24 of Dustin Hardy on his outside. Going to come off the corner. Yeah, going to make contact with Dustin Hardy, and bam, right in the inside of the wall. Whoa, look at Doug Ellingson. Barely made it through that. What an evasive move by Doug. You know, in the past, I would say Doug would just run right into him, but hey, look at this. See the contact up there, and you're going to see him go down to the inside. Watch Doug. He's like, nope, not today. Not today, Satan. And he jumps right to the inside and able to get around him. Way to go. That's what we love to see. Hey, that's improvement there. I love to see that type of improvement from guys. And got pit stops happening here. D'Amico comes down pit road along with Trevor McManus. You're going to see these two kind of battle it out coming off pit road. Who can win the battle for that track position? That'll be very, very important here. Left side's going up on D'Amico. Looks like he's got a pretty good stop going right now. He's going to drop the jack, and he is going to come out of pit road. And I don't know. I couldn't quite get the camera to point where I wanted it to, but it looked like Jacob Ellingson and McManus were... Oh, no. Big problems for Trevor McManus as he was speeding on pit road. And you see he's letting everybody by. Oh, no, his car's off. I can't really tell. I don't see any lights on the gauges. No, he's definitely okay. It's just the way the sunlight is looking. But, yeah, it looks like he got caught speeding on pit road. So Trevor McManus fighting for the lead there, comes down, pushes it a little bit too hard, and now going to have to fight his way back to the front, which, you know, is a broadcaster's dream, I'll be honest. Trevor McManus going to the back and having to drive his way to the front is really awesome. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch. Still a long way to go. We still have about 80 laps left in this race. They will click off quickly, especially if we have a long green flag run, which we haven't had just yet. So we'll see. Dustin Hardy, George Jewell, they were two drivers that came down about 18 laps ago under that other caution and took tires. So they played their strategy, hoping to maybe move up through the field. This is about the worst thing that could happen for their strategy, if I'm honest, because they want that long green flag run that they can move up through the field with those new tires to take advantage of it. Now, they are sitting duck. The Doug Ellingson is the only one that hasn't taken tires this caution. I'm not really sure why he hasn't. Everybody else has taken a set of tires here, so they'll be on 18-lap older tires, and we'll see quickly how big a deal 18 laps is going to make. So, you know, they don't have a choice. They made their strategy call, and with that caution, this is what they have to do. They have to have enough tires to make it to the end. So I can't really blame them. It just didn't work out, and that's the way it goes in racing sometimes. But we'll see quickly just how big a deal those tires are, as I would imagine they're going to get swallowed up pretty quickly. Now, you're going to have these guys behind them trying to take advantage of that and get by and try to get out quickly. It always causes some issues. You want to say be patient, but you got two guys out here on two tires. I want to go. I want to get around them as fast as possible, and I want you to get stuck behind them, not me. So I think we'll see a mix of guys being careful, but I think you still got to be aggressive here if we do get one of those long green flag runs. All right, pace car going to pull off, and we'll see how these tires do as they're going to come down. Dustin Hardy going to choose that inside line. Lap 36, coming to lap 37 into the Geico restart zone. You can see George Jewell not able to get the run he needs. Jacob Ellingson all over the back bumper as Mike D'Amico going to get around him. And let's see how quickly Mike's able to get back to the lead. Third 1 and 2. You can see the speed difference of George Jewell as here comes Jacob Ellingson on the outside, but here comes D'Amico down on the bottom, and he is going to take over the lead from Dustin Hardy. Dustin trying to hang on to it, trying to not lose too many spots, but you could see how quickly it just took one lap for those guys. And George Jewell going to pull up in front of somebody quickly. Alex Cruz looks down to the inside. When you got two tires and everybody knows you have two tires, I mean, I swear you've got a big old target on your back. And right now, Jacob Denson, who we're on board with, you can see kind of stuck behind him. He's going to jump down to the inside now and go around him, but that's just the speed difference, especially as the tires start to get up to the temperature. And you can see just how nerve-wracking it is for both Dustin Hardy and George Jewell. These guys are all over the back bumper, really putting pressure. Scott Phelps now kind of stuck up there behind Jewell. Patience is hard to instill into sim racers, but I got to tell you right now, these guys have done a really great job. Look at Scott Phelps around the outside of that 79 machine. Gets a big run. Actually surprises Brandon Barrier there in that 53 green and silver car down on the bottom. And now Barrier going to be stuck behind. Oh, my goodness. It comes right up in front of Scott Phelps. Woo! My goodness. Scary, scary moment there for those drivers. Now Scott Phelps, I mean, you can see Dustin Hardy just trying to just run his race, but man, he's got guys all over him. And that's what I was talking about. It's so difficult be in that position. And they're going to continue to fall back all the way back towards the back of the field with those 18-lap fresher, the older tires as a 75. Randy Busquet goes down to the inside, and caution will come out again. And unfortunately, Doug Ellingson not able to avoid this one, as Doug has been around every single wreck so far. And we'll take a look at what happened here to Randy Busquet. Fighting a little bit of handling. You can see the 24, I believe, go around to the outside. He's going to come up, make a little bit of contact, and then try to stay off of him. Golly. And then Doug Ellingson just couldn't make the right decision at the right moment. We'll take a look on board with Doug this time. And I think he used up all his luck last time he had to dodge a wreck. Watch this right here. Just nowhere to go. He can't. He's trying to decide where he's going to go. He's just spinning around, and Doug already used that fast repair, so I think that's going to be it for Doug Ellingson. Well, D'Amico with the lead. He's gotten up front, been able to hold that lead so far. But we are losing drivers left and right. Randy Busquet, he is now on pit road trying to get as much repair. He's already used his fast repair. Johnny Cofield is back out on track, but a couple laps down. Chance Taylor has been on pit road for about 2.5 minutes. A lot of folks have already used their fast repair. Scott Phelps has used their fast repair. Jason Kraft used his fast repair. Johnny Cofield, Randy Busquet, Doug Ellingson, Chance Taylor, and Jamie Perkins, who is out of this thing, have all used their fast repair here early before lap 50. So you can see a lot. We haven't really seen that much contact. I mean, right there with Randy and Doug, I mean, that was massive contact, and Doug was involved in one earlier. But I would imagine a lot of that those fast repairs used on just turn 2, turn 4 exit, wall hits that we've seen pretty much every driver in the top 10 do at least one time. So you go up there and you hit that wall, it can, if you hit it hard enough, it will knock the toe out, and it'll really disrupt the handling of that race car. Make it harder to turn. You have to put more wheel into it and use a little bit more tire. But it looks like we're going to get 1 to green here. And we'll try to get some green flag racing here soon. Looks like we will go around one more time. Well, so far in this race, Mike D'Amico has started out really well. Some tough racing there with Trevor McManus. Trevor went back down pit road. I don't know if he got some fuel or maybe some extra damage fixed. I'm not real sure. He went down and was in pit road for about 5.5 seconds. So Trevor going to fall all the way down. He's currently sitting in the 16th position. Had to go all the way back for that speeding penalty. So we'll see if he's able to make his way back up to the front, but it's so difficult to do it quickly here. Is if you're not careful, if you try to push the issue, be too aggressive, you can get caught up in another incident. He still does have that fast repair, but you don't want to rely on that. We've seen many drivers go down and hit the inside wall, screw up their car, and a caution not come out, and that would be race over. So patience is really, really important here. All right, we do to get the 1 to green here. We'll go back green next time by. We've seen just a small uplift for everybody up in the top 5. D'Amico gained a spot. Jacob has moved up 2 spots since he started. Alex Cruz has been able to get up to that 4th position. He is up 2 spots from where he started. Patrick Drapick as well, up a spot. So everybody kind of where they were from the beginning. Trevor is just at the back. Right now, Jacob Denson, the only one kind of going the wrong way. I expect to see him kind of right that ship here on this next run. Hopefully get a long green flag run. We normally get long green flag runs and fuel runs here at Goat Locker. But Dover, just one of those tracks that's so difficult to manage the car all the way through the run. Here we go. Getting ready to go green here on lap 46. Coming to lap 47. Mike D'Amico with the lead. Jacob Ellingson there in second. What a great jump from D'Amico. And he is going to get out to almost a 0.3 of a second lead, although Ellingson has a great 1 and 2. It's going to try to run him back down. 2 teammates here battling side by side. Patrick Drapick down on the inside, and Alex Cruz going to be on the outside, keeping that momentum up. He's going to be able to clear him. And Patrick Drapick trying to block Denson there and not allow him to get to the inside. But Denson going to get there. Is he going to be able to keep the momentum off the corner, or is that high side going to be where you want to be? As you look right here, is Patrick able to keep the momentum up on the outside on board with Joe Yates as he was watching that battle. You can see, you hear him lifting off the corner as he could feel like the car is not rotating, had to lift just a little bit to allow himself to get the rotation off the exit. Just put so much pressure and heat into those right side tires. Just how fast you're going. Up front, D'Amico still holds on to that top spot. Jacob Ellingson has been trying to close in here as we cross over to lap 50. You see Alex Cruz up there trying a different line, trying to get the best run down the straightaway as he can. You usually see that towards the end of runs as the front tires just don't turn. you got to lose a little bit of speed early, but you're sacrificing that middle of the turn speed to get a better exit if you can and get a run. And so far, it's looking like it's working pretty good. I think it's just a little bit too early to do that. It will hurt your right sides pretty badly, and he will suffer for it in the next 30 laps if he continues to do that. Right around the bottom, like Jacob Ellingson here, is really what you want to do. It's almost sort of a bait, if you will, to drive up on the outside, try to get that run off the exit. It'll feel really cool, but it just it's better to save that towards the end of the run. You just give up so much time in the middle, and you can see kind of goes back down to the bottom now as there's a little bit of separation between him and Ellingson. Back up through the field, Trevor McManus back up to the 11th position. He's got Jimmy Cofield right behind him. Just got around him. And McManus, with that extra little bit of fuel, might allow him to go a little bit further here on this fuel run if we make it under green. But currently sitting in the 11th position after that penalty, having to fight and claw his way back up to the front. We've seen that from him. We've seen him come from 2 laps down and win a race before like it's nothing. So it's not like he can't make that happen. Let's take a look at this battle right in front of him, though. Charlie Harcum is another driver that's been on the move all race long. We talked about him earlier. Now up in the top 10, going to make a pass here on Colton Lanford. Going to drift up the track just a little bit. Colton going to look back down to the inside, but Charlie going to have the run off the corner, and now he is up in 8th spot. And he is not quite able to keep. We'll see if once he's by himself, if he can keep pace with the leaders. A couple tenths off, he was battling side by side. But I think a couple more cautions, a couple more pit stops, and Charlie Harcum's going to be up in the top 5, and he is going to have something to say about this race win here tonight. You can see those cars moving in. You got somebody in the, I don't know who that was. I think it was, no, it was Jason Kraft in that number 12. He got up into the wall. Oh, no, 00, John Anthony, excuse me. Got up into the wall as they're running side by side. Look at that, Dustin Hardy getting in the wall. I mean, there's a lot of pancakes going on. But dang, IHOP back here, man, we almost got 3 wide back for the 15th position. I can't keep track. So much good racing going on all over the track. Dustin Hardy trying to make up for that loss. I mean, he's going to be down a set of tires. I think he went in about 14 laps ago and got 4 more tires. So he is back on the attack, which is good. But unfortunately, well, man, just another massive hit to the wall there as he kind of gets stuck to it. So the 24 just on the struggle bus right now. He's behind on strategy. He's definitely got some major damage. You can see that car not handling, especially now. You knock the toe out of that right front. Boy, it does make this a long, long race. You see cars going wide off the exit of the corner. Everybody's starting to get spread out a little bit here as we get some green flag racing. Up front, it is still Mike D'Amico who has really taken a commanding lead up front. But Ellingson not allowing him to get away as those two have continued to separate themselves from this second pack, which has really been Alex Cruz, Patrick Rabbit, Jacob Denson, and Joe Yakes now, who has joined it in the last few laps. So you can see not a lot of movement. Trevor is up to 9th place, but you don't see a whole lot of movement. Everybody is sort of right where they were when they started the race. So track position, really, really important here tonight. Go on board Jacob Ellingson as he tries to run down your leader in that 29 machine. Jacob keeping pace, but D'Amico slowly but surely, about a 10th last lap, about a 10th and a half actually, starting to pull away. So D'Amico at the end of this run starting to pull away. Back up in the third spot, Patrick Drapp was able to get around Alex Cruz, who's now falling into the clutches of Jacob Denson. And this will continue as it looks like Alex starting to suffer here on the long run. Well, Alex holding on to that spot. And I'll tell you what, now is as good a time as any as let's take a little small break as we get ready right before we get to any kind of green flag pit stops. Let's take a little small break while we've got a lull in the action, and we'll come back in just a second. I want to thank our sponsor. Well, of course, as soon as we go to commercial break, caution comes out. And I'm not really sure who it was for. I don't have a listing at all. But caution does come out. We'll see if we can try to get lucky and find it. I think it might have been Colton Lanford here. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened. I think he had already had the issue. Oh, yeah, here we go. Colton Lanford coming off the corner. He's getting passed by, that's the number 3 of Jimmy Cofield. You see they were kind of getting out of shape here, and George Jewell going around the outside in that 36. They come off the corner, and oh, man, contact maybe between the 3 and the 25, and the 25 goes around. See if we can't get on board here. On board Jimmy Cofield. See, it just got tight there. You got George Jewell going around the outside, and I think Colton just had to check up because he wasn't going to be able to stay off George. And when he does, I mean, Jimmy Cofield is there. You know, it's not easy to stop these cars, I can imagine. So I can't really blame Jimmy for that one. Some interesting strategies going on right now. I mean, everybody is trying anything to get out of the mess as Bobby Jermaine, it looks like he only took fuel there. A 5-second stop for the 42 machine, and he's going to find himself out front. But I don't know. I don't know about these calls. I understand trying to get some track position. Unless it was a mistake, I just don't understand. We've already seen that strategy not work at all. To take no tires for some track position here at Dover, it has not worked at all. So, he's had to use his fast repair at some point. So, it hasn't. I don't know. You would think the first time somebody would try it, and like I said, unless he made a mistake or if there was an issue why he maybe didn't have his tires checked and just decided to live with it, I don't know. But, I mean, you might as well go to the back and get 4 tires because you'll just end up going to the back anyway because these guys had almost 30, 40 laps on that set of tires. And so he's going to get eaten alive here when we go back green. But I hate to be too critical. I just don't. I don't know what you set to gain from doing this, other than being sort of off the pace where it's just so stressful. It's not that he can't handle it, but it's just so stressful to be that off the pace, and you're gonna have 20 plus drivers pass you at some point. It's gonna be very frustrating. But good for Trevor McManus. He is up to that ninth position, ninth position. After going to the back, that's good. This is a good reset for him. He's going to allow everybody to get caught back up. He's going to get within range of the leaders. I think with the way that D'Amico and Ellingson have been running, I think Trevor is going to need maybe another caution to get up there. So he's going to have to pass quite a few drivers that have been running extremely fast to get back up towards the front. He can definitely do it, but I think by the time he gets up to third, unless there's an issue, I think D'Amico and Ellingson will be gone. But right now, the question is, what are these old tires going to do for the 42 machine? We're about to find out as we're getting ready to go green here on lap 72 of 115. Still a long way to go, just over 40 laps. Pace car pulls off. Jermaine into the Geico restart zone. Going to get a great jump. D'Amico actually nervously does not get a great jump, and that allows Ellingson to get to the inside. Well, here we're going to see the difference in those tires. Here comes Ellingson almost immediately. Gets a massive run off of turn 2, and he is going to go to the lead. And D'Amico going to come along with him as you got guys fanning out all over the track. D'Amico now back to second or third. Now going to fall back to fourth. Just how quickly. And Alex Cruz going to run up onto the back bumper of him. That's the speed difference. Jermaine doing a great job of staying out of the way, but you see how tight it gets off these corners. And Scott Phelps finds himself behind yet another guy on old tires. You see he just has nowhere to go. Going to drive down to the inside. See Trevor McManus taking advantage of it. So Jermaine, after just a few laps, already back into the 11th position. But that was a great deal there for Ellingson, as he made out like a bandit, able to get the lead. And we'll see what Clean Air does for that 27 machine as D'Amico tries to hunt him down. It looks like Patrick Drabick's starting to turn the wick up a little bit. We'd like to see that. And you can hear he's on brand new tires, but he is not pushing that throttle down. He's letting that car land. He's letting it roll. He's rolling, just giving it a little bit of extra throttle. Gives a little bit of that apron there. You got to be careful with that. It'll bounce you up to the outside wall, just like getting on the gas too soon. But you see, the idea is to not turn the wheel too much. Keep it at about 45 degrees. Use the throttle and the brake to turn that car. And it doesn't make sense, but in a race car, they're set up to do that. You want to turn the wheel. You want to use the front end. The steering wheel is going to grab a little bit of that apron right there. A little nervous about that, but use the steering wheel to drive into the corner, and you want to use the brake and the throttle to drive on the exit. You want to be able to straighten that wheel up off of the corner, and you can see exactly that's what he's doing. If you turn in that wheel on exit, you're going to be in trouble. And right now, Patrick, I mean, look how locked that wheel is. He is barely moving that thing right out. I mean, it might not even be moving at 45 degrees. It looks like about 30 degrees. Yeah, right at 45 degrees. See that tape on the top? And it comes right back up to straight. I mean, he's straight before he exits the corner. You see Ellingson getting the wall a little bit. So that is the trick. Oh, Patrick had to drive. He drove it in a little bit too deep. He had to turn it down a little bit more. But you see how consistent and smooth he is. He's just letting the track give him a big old hug as he carries that speed through the corner. Starting to make some ground up here. Got a little three-car breakaway as Joe Yates gets a little out of shape off the exit right there as D'Amico now fighting dirty air, what Jacob Ellingson was dealing with for so long. And now D'Amico is now getting a good helping of some dirty air off the back of that 27 machine. We talked a lot about front downforce for this track and how important it is to get that car on exit. When you don't have the air, the downforce on the front of that car, when you get within 3/10 of another driver, that front end, we talked about the front end sailing off of 2 and off of 4. It does it even worse. It's way worse when you're right behind somebody. You just lose all that front grip and that downforce. You have to start to arc it a little bit more, try to get a better exit. You see he's actually entering in pretty high there, trying to do exactly that. That dirty air being extremely effective for that 27 machine. But been some really, really good races. We check in on Trevor McManus. He has been able to catch up. He's now 1.4 seconds back from your leader, Jacob Ellingson. So he has been able to improve that. So really great job by Trevor to go back and check in on Joe Yates and Charlie Harcum. As he's already seen Joe get into the wall a couple of times. He's really been struggling here tonight. I've seen him do it multiple times so far. So that 87 machine is struggling. He seems to be really good on old tires. As the run goes on, he gets better and better. But early on, he seems a little wild. So doing a good job of saving it, but it's odd, always odd to see somebody get better on old tires and really feel like they don't have grip on new ones. But that's what Joe looks like right now, as Charlie now setting his sights on Scott Phelps as he continues to move Joe Yates into the wall again. And I got to say, Charlie has had the prettiest line so far. I mean, he is so good at this right here. He's a little bit out of the groove there. He's losing a little bit of time, but you see what he's trying to do. Just trying to get the best run off the corner. He didn't get a good run that time. A little bit too high in that corner, but he's been really good here in 3 and 4. We'll see if he can do that as well this time. And yeah, he does. I mean, look at how quickly he closes in on Scott, getting that air on the front of the car on exit as he continues to drive well up the track here in 1 and 2. But driving that line actually gets a great run that time. Driving that line does allow him to not really have to worry about going up and hitting that wall. If you can come down from the top to the bottom, it doesn't push out towards the wall like Scott Phelps did right there. That's sort of a benefit of running this line. But it's very, very tough on those right side tires. You have to be careful you don't overuse it. I mean, this is like it's almost like a pitcher and a hitter battle here. It takes a long time. As we got a battle for 4th place here. Is Trevor going to get around Jacob Denson? Oh, caution's out, and Joe Yates has finally had an issue he can't recover from. As you see the front end gone, he's driving a modified here as he brings that 87 machine to a stop, and he's going to exit out and call it a night. Let's take a look at the replay, see if we can find out what happened. He's down on the inside of the 00, and oh man, Joe has been fighting that car going out to the outside all night long. We've talked about him multiple times, and I believe that's the 00 of John Anthony. You see how much more he's having to turn that wheel versus what we saw with Patrick Drabick. Watch it one more time here. You'll see John drives deep in the corner, and Joe, see how much he's got that wheel turned when they come off the corner. John Anthony actually gets a little bit, I don't know, he kind of shimmies a little bit while he's trying to keep it off the wall, and unfortunately for Joe, going to hit him and knock him down to the inside wall, and that's going to do it for that 87 machine. Pit road wide open again. This will be likely the final stop here tonight. I think we're getting down to the end of this thing, and I can't imagine I can't imagine any more pit stops after this. You got to nail this one. This has got to be the perfect stop. You got to take 4 tires. You can't, no staying out on tires at this point. I think you are just messing up. And I don't think 2 tires is going to be the call. You see Scott Phelps going to come out with the lead with 2 tires. It's too late in the race, or it's not late enough in the race, excuse me, for 2 tires. I don't think that's the call. I think Jacob is making the right call here. 4 tires is what I want. We've already seen 2 tires not work, no tires not work. I mean, you're 10th place by 3 laps. We've seen that. Now, Scott has had some speed here tonight, but I just don't think you can overcome 4 tires. So we see these strategies keep happening, and, I have yet to see anybody really benefit from it. Trying to get that track position, maybe hope for a couple cautions. As you see, Dustin Hardy still out on track yet again. Jeremiah Holt is going to the back, it looks like. I'm not real sure. He's slow on the track. Yeah, he was given an EOL there, so Jeremiah Holt probably called up to race control and said, hey, I'm going to the back. Dustin Hardy on 23 lap older tires. He's done this early in the race, and this is just a product most likely of, and I think he probably took his last set of tires. It's a product of him coming down on lap 12 or so, getting those sets of tires early, and now it's just put him behind the 8 ball. And, I can criticize him for staying out, but if you don't have any tires left, you don't have a choice. So I think Dustin is in that mode right now where he just doesn't have a set of tires left in the pits. I think everybody has taken their last now. So he didn't have a choice. He's going to have to live with his decision. Now, if we get a bunch of cautions here at the end, which is definitely possible, might end up with a pretty good track position. But if we go green to the end, Dustin Hardy, Scott Phelps, I believe, are going to have some issues. Frustrating if you're Jacob Ellingson, if you're Mike D'Amico, because you would love for one guy to stay out, but 2 really blocks that front row, and you have to be careful. You have to hope that you get in the right lane. Dustin Hardy will have control of the restart, and Scott Phelps there on 2 tires. You're kind of hoping that those guys don't spin them here on concrete, not the same grip level, and we've seen it time and time again that you get on old tires, those rears will spin. You're already kind of nervous anyway because you know you're going to get eaten alive, so you try to give it just a little bit more gas than you normally would and spin them, end up wrecking. I mean, I can tell you from firsthand experience, I have right-hooked myself into the wall on a restart and took out the whole field. So it's definitely possible. We hope that that doesn't happen tonight. But we're going to find out here. Just 20 laps to go in this race. And I think right now it is Jacob Ellingson, Mike D'Amico's race to lose. I think those guys, that's going to be the biggest story right now. It's how quickly they can get around these drivers, who comes out on top with that clean air. And I think that may be the race. All right, pace car going to pull off. Coming to 20 laps to go here at Dover. Who's going to take home the victory? Dustin Hardy on old tires. Scott Phelps on new tires. Hardy going to get away. Scott Phelps did not get a great jump, and Jacob Ellingson going to go right behind him. Oh, make a little contact. Here comes Patrick Dravick. Going to make it 3 wide, trying to take advantage of it as Jacob Ellingson going to get stuck behind Dustin Hardy, and now he's going to pick D'Amico with Dustin Hardy. That was a great move, and there they go, 3 wide. D'Amico going to try to keep that second position, not let Ellingson get away, but look at him fanning out. Here comes Trevor McManus down to the inside to try to take over 3rd spot. Oh, they make a little contact as Patrick Dravick gets loose. They check up. Here comes the 7 of Jacob Denson. He's going to take over that spot as Dravick gets loose. They're on new tires back here. 3 wide as Alex Cruz was down on the inside with Scott Phelps on those new tires. What a great job by everybody. Oh, and Trevor McManus is going to get into the wall. Makes big contact. What a great job by everybody. After Patrick gets a little bit loose, Trevor did a great job not running him over there. And I tell you what, the biggest winner was Jacob Denson, who gets up the 3rd spot, able to pass both those drivers in that corner as Trevor McManus in the wall again. They fan out. That 9 machine is really struggling right now. He has laid it on the wall a couple of times. I don't know if it'll ever, I mean, he's going to send it back on the hauler. That's for damn sure. Now he's going to have to fight without screws. But if he's not careful, he needs to wreck it across the checker flag, and you can see he is struggling. Let's go on board with him. Good Lord. See that car already struggling for grip on the exit as Dustin Hardy is on pit road. He's had some sort of accident. It looked like he immediately jumped out. So, and another wall bang there for Trevor McManus. It's only getting worse here for the number 9 machine. Up front, we're going to keep watching this battle as Ellingson has gotten to the back, D'Amico has gotten to the back bumper of Ellingson. Oh, what a great turn by D'Amico. He is there. 15 laps to go here as they cross the stripe. D'Amico is in attack mode. He has got the time. He's got the space out behind him. Jacob Denson, last time by, these two a tenth faster, so no pressure out back for D'Amico. He doesn't have to make his move now. He just has to wait for Ellingson to make a mistake, pressure him into a mistake, which is so easy to do at Dover, as we'll take a look on board with Mike D'Amico. I tell you what, Jacob Ellingson better have his lunch packed for the next 15 laps. He is going to have to drop perfect because D'Amico is there. You see how much he gains on the middle to exit, and Jacob going to do a good job there, taking advantage of that, gets a better exit. But D'Amico is there as Denson now, he is under fire from Patrick Drabick, who is all over the back bumper. Look, they were tandem drafted there off the corner. Like we got tandem drafting first, second, third, and fourth. Patrick going to get to the inside as I think Denson may have gotten a little bit of that wall. As it looks like Trevor McManus comes down pit road. He's going to call it quits here tonight as that car looks to be too much damaged. You can see him coming down pit road right there. I mean, such a heartbreak for Trevor after that speeding penalty. Once it goes bad, it just keeps getting worse and worse. So. All right, we got some lap traffic up ahead. I can't see who that is. It's a green car. I believe it is Brandon Barrier in the 53. So, going to play a factor here for sure. Now, hopefully, Brandon does the right thing and just tells him where he's going to be. Say, hey, guys, I'm going to stay high. Hey, I'm going to stay low. Looks like he's going to get up out of the way. What a great job by the 53 of Brandon Barrier, kind of seeing the situation. Not becoming a part of the, I mean, you don't want to be a lap down car becoming a part of the story. And so big props there to the 53 of Brandon Barrier to get up out of the way and let these guys battle it out for a win. Mike D'Amico running out of time. We are less than 10 laps to go. If he's going to get it done, he's got to get it done soon. Patrick Drabick continues to put pressure on Jacob Denson. We stay here on the lead, then we'll see if D'Amico can get anything done. Last lap, they were almost identical in lap times. I talked about it. I said, Ellingson, you're going to have to drive a perfect race for the last 20 laps. And so far, no mistakes out of that 27 machine. He is fast enough that it doesn't matter. All he's got to do is hit his line. He doesn't have to do anything special. He doesn't have to try to pull away. Doesn't matter. If you've watched, you know Vin Diesel. Whether you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. That's all he's got to do. Just run his line, not really worry about D'Amico. D'Amico's job is to get around him. We'll see if he can get it done. D'Amico searching, trying to find a little bit of speed. Just a few laps to go, and he is starting to lose ground as he searches, trying to find anything to get an advantage on this 27. That 29 just not able to keep up in dirty air. You hear him have to work that throttle a little bit. Just 5 laps to go. Last time by, Jacob Ellingson was about a tenth faster. Oh, and caution is out. Caution is out, and it looks like Matt Knight's sitting on the track smoking, and we will likely have a green-white checkered. And I tell you what, Jacob Ellingson, not happy about that. You can see on his face, just so frustrated. Only 5 laps away from that checkered flag, and we'll see if we can maybe figure out what happened here to Matt Knights. Down on the inside, gonna make a little bit of contact. Go, just gets run over, kind of gets stuck in between those two drivers. And you can see engine just gives away. It's like the 14 of Chance Taylor is going to get a run here. You can see Matt Knight's just sort of kind of stuck there, and Chance Taylor just gives him the bumper. On board with Chance Taylor as you watch it happen right here. And you can see he's trying to get around these guys, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing Chance could do in that moment. It's really not Matt Knight's fault either. I think that's just a racing deal where Chance was down on the inside, and unfortunately for Matt Knights, he just wasn't able to get the gas going there and had to lift, and once he lifted, Chance was right behind him. So not much Chance can do. But up front, the story is going to be the two leaders here. Now, Jacob has been really fast out front in the clean air, so he's got that going for him. And he's got control of the restart. That's about as big advantage as you can ask for in this situation. For D'Amico, we've already seen him have a couple bad starts, so he's going to have to do a good job of trying to keep with that 27. If he can stay with him and get a good jump and get to the outside of that 27, he has something if he can stick with him. But you don't want to spin the tires. You don't want to have anything like that happen. So Mike is going to have a tough go at it here. I think Jacob is in a really good spot. We'll see what happens between these two drivers. Do they make contact? I mean, they have 20 laps on their tires. And do you spin the tires? That's something to be thinking about. There's the whole lot to consider, as we're only going to have just a few laps to go whenever we take the green flag. iRacing hasn't called it a green-white checker just yet. As we cross the line, we'll either get one of two things. We'll get a natural green-white checkered, or we'll get an official green-white checkered as they cross the line. So we'll see what iRacing decides to do. I think we will get a green-white checkered here. Well, this has been a fun race. Dover has put on a good show. It's been messy, but I think we knew that coming in. It's just what you expect out of this type of track, this type of car. We said it already. It is a mean track. Of course, these tracks wouldn't be fun if they were, the Care Bear Mile or, soft, pillowy road course. It wouldn't be as cool if that was what they called them. When they're called the Lady in Black or the Track Too Tough to Tame or the Monster Mile. That's what you want your tracks to be. That's what you want your drivers racing on. But so far, Ellingson has really shown he's got a lot of poise here tonight. He got behind Mike for a little while, but able to get around him with the different cautions and stuff coming out. And this is an official green-white checkered. So when we come around, we'll have 2 attempts at it. Green-white checkered, of course, same as always, but we'll run you through it real quick. If they get a caution flag before the leader takes the white flag, we will rack them up, do it again. And then if we get a caution during the second green-white checkered, at any point, the race is over. So what we hope to see here is we get a good launch here from these two drivers. We get out, we get that white flag, and then no matter what, we'll see a checkered flag. We'll see what happens right here. Jacob Ellingson going to take the outside here on this restart. What can Mike do? He's had Not very good restarts. He's about half a car length back. Green flag is out, though. D'Amico with a really good start. He is to the inside of him. What's going to happen here is they dive down in the corner. Jacob going to pitch him. They're door to door. Coming off of turn 2. Can D'Amico hold it down? And caution is out again. Caution is out for George Jewell, I believe. Take a look at him on the start here. Take a look at the VSRN replay. See the 97 on the outside. George is going to come up right into the 97. And wow, big contact there for the 36. And that brings out our second green-white checker. And unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm Jacob Ellingson, I'm going to be honest. I think Jacob Ellingson needs to be relieved because I think that is about as good as Mike D'Amico could do on a restart. I mean, amazing restart for that 29. That's exactly what he needed to do. The likelihood you do a restart like that twice is very low. So if D'Amico could do that again, he's got a real shot at it. And I think if we would have seen that all the way through, I think that would have been an interesting finish as Mike did have position. So it's going to be exciting. Now, if we get a yellow flag, you know, Ellingson just needs to get away, get out in front. And if he gets the yellow flag, the race is over. He is the winner. So that's honestly about as good as it could go for D'Amico, and that caution coming out with Jacob Ellingson still out front. I think that's good for Ellingson. He probably a little sigh of relief there when that caution came out when it did. All right, we should get the one to go this time by. One more green-white checker to settle this thing. Can Jacob get a better restart this time and sail away to victory? Can Mike D'Amico somehow get a perfect restart 2 times in a row and get alongside that 27 and make a pass coming to the checker flag? Can Patrick Drabbit get up there and make something happen and get around both of them? We're going to find out. This is it for all the marbles. We'll go around a couple more times just to think it over. I mean, just to make Jacob Ellingson stress a little bit more. We'll go around a couple more times. But there's nothing left to be said. I want to thank our sponsors, though, right now as we're waiting on them to go back green. And definitely appreciate all of our amazing sponsors. Right Now Roofing for sponsoring this series. Been an incredible title sponsor so far for Jam Printing and Promotions. Veterans for Life Foundation, Premier Racing Setups, and Cruising Classics, of course. Big supporter of all of Goat Locker. Well, all right, here we are. Getting the one to go here. The lights go off on the pace car. It is one green-white checkered left to go. If they make it back to the white flag, we'll see it all the way to the checkered. If a caution comes out, the field is locked where they are, and that's where it'll end. And Jacob Ellingson, all he has to do is get a good restart, get out front, take control of the lead, and I don't think there's anything Mike D'Amico can do. I think he's going to be worried too much about Patrick Drabbit at that point. So It's all on Jake right now. Make sure you don't spin the tires. Get a good jump. And then you got the race win. Here we go. Pace car. Pull off. D'Amico gets right next to him this time. Moving. Getting ready into the Geico restart zone. Jacob Ellison's going to go. D'Amico does not get a great jump. Side by side for second place. D'Amico going to be fighting the 07. D'Amico hard on the outside. Jacob Ellingson has control of the race and the lead. And that's it. I think that's all she wrote. Unless Patrick Drabick can find something, unless Jacob makes a mistake. You see Mike D'Amico really fighting hard, but white flag is out for Ellingson. He's got to make 4 more corners, whatever. D'Amico able to get clear of Patrick right there. Patrick has to check up a little bit as he's going to fall back into the clutches of Denson. But all that doesn't matter. D'Amico going to come up short off of turn number 4. And Jacob Ellingson going to take home the victory here at Dover. Yeah, just an incredible race. I mean, oh, man. What a great, great race. That was a lot of fun to watch. Dover, always, always brings the heat. All right, well, let's take a look at your results and see where everybody finishes. Everything should be cleared up right now. 7 cautions here tonight. Not a bad showing, though, as Jacob Ellingson takes the win. Mike D'Amico comes home in second. Patrick Drabick comes home in third. Jacob Denson in fourth. Scott Phelps on that 2-tire strategy, making a liar and an idiot out of me, comes home in 5th place. Way to go, Scott, on that 2-tire strategy. Charlie Harcum is going to be the biggest mover of the race as he comes home in 6th. Alex Cruz in 7th. Chris Sawyer in 8th. Colton Lamford in 9th. Jason Kraft rounds out your top 10. In 11th, it's going to be John Anthony. 12th, going to be Jimmy Cofield. Bobby Germain in the 13th position. Brandon Barrier in 14th. 15th is going to be Chance Taylor. 16th, Mark Cofield. 17th, going to be Jeremiah Holt. George Jewell in the 18th spot. Matt Knights in 19th. And Joe Yates rounds out your top 20. These drivers had a tough night. Trevor McManus started up front, led a lot of laps, comes home in 21st. Dustin Hardy in 22nd. Randy Busquet there in the 23rd position. Doug Ellingson in 24th. And Jamie Perkins in 25th. Well, all right. Well, we got to talk to some drivers, so we're going to go ahead and get them in here and talk to them about the race. And we got the race winner in here right now, Jacob Ellingson. You take home the victory tonight, and you had to work for it, man. That was not easy. Well, you had to do it the hard way, which is have to go through 2 green-white checkers. Now, on that first green-white checkered, D'Amico got a pretty good jump on you there. What happened on that restart? Did he get a good jump? Did you spin the tires? What exactly allowed him to get such a good jump there going into turn 1?
I kind of mistimed where I wanted to start in the box, and I think he started exactly right when I didn't want to go, and that just kind of made us a little bit even. I'm just kind of glad I got that run on the outside to keep the lead for when that caution flew.
Yeah, and on the second green-white checkered, I mean, you got the way just like you needed to. It allowed Mike D'Amico and Patrick Drabick to battle a little bit there. And that made all the difference, able to get away. So that 27 machine looked really fast. Seemed like clean air was pretty big for tonight between you and Mike.
Oh, definitely. Anytime we got behind somebody within that like 0.3 mark, it felt so tight coming out of 4. It was ridiculous.
Well, you were able to get out front, and once you did, you never relinquished it. So congratulations, Jacob, on win number 2 on the season. Man, that's the first 2-time winner here in the Xfinity Series. That's something to brag about. So, put a hat on that. You got it going on here in the Xfinity Series for sure. So, as always, who we got to thank here tonight to get you around the track?
Definitely right now roofing for sponsoring the series. Glad to have them aboard this season and everything that they're doing. Jam printing and promotions, Veterans for Life, Cruising Classics, Redbeard Designs, uh, V Speed, and the great job that you do with the broadcast, Eddie. I go back and watch it every single week. Um, Not only to learn some things, but it's just an amazing broadcast to begin with. And then, as always, gotta thank my beautiful daughter for, supporting, everything that Goat Locker's doing, especially me racing and all the military veterans and first responders.
All right. Well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Jacob Ellingson with the victory, and he is going to take home win number 2 this season. But we don't have Mike D'Amico just yet, so we're gonna jump in here and we're gonna go ahead and talk to your third place finisher, who's gonna be Patrick Drabick, and we're gonna get Drabick in here right now. Patrick, man, a sturdy race out of you. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but that felt good coming out when I said it. So I think that's right. It seemed like you started in 5th position and you were just kind of hanging around. You were maybe not as quick on the short run, but you seemed to really, through the middle part of the run, really came alive, and you were there battling a lot of guys. A couple of times got a little nervous, almost had to maybe, a couple guys had to, you had to check up so you didn't get into the wall, trying to save that car, and hey, it worked out good to come home with a 3rd place. Talk about it.
Man, what a race, Eddie. I mean, that was a lot of fun. The concrete high banks here at Dover always provide for a whole lot of great racing. But yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of just trying to keep some balance in the car, trying to balance the speed against trying to save a little bit of tire so it would work a little better in the long run. And then it was almost impossible to pass. You could try to take your car low. The car on the outside would get a better run. I tried a couple times on the outside, but you pushed the car a little too hard. It got up into the wall. But what a finish. And yeah, I'm super stoked to bring this thing home in the Right Now Roofing car home in 3rd place.
Yeah, well, and your teammate gets his 2nd win of the season, but Pat's still looking for win number 1. Now he could have helped you out a couple times, maybe give you one of his 2, but I think you got plenty of races left this season to get one of them. So where do you think you're going to see that first win come at? If you look down in the schedule, I mean, we're coming up on Pocono, Richmond, Atlanta, New Hampshire. Where do you think Patrick's going to get that dub?
I really love Pocono, Eddie. That's one of my favorite tracks. Just the uniqueness of it, the different corners, all those different types of things. I'm also a huge fan of New Hampshire. I love a flat track, one where you got to do more throttle control than steering control. So those 2 tracks are ones that I've got earmarked. And then, Atlanta's another drafting track, and I do enjoy that as well. So I think there's some good races coming up here for the 07.
All right, we're going to let you go. Congratulations on that 3rd place finish. And as always, man, who we got to thank?
Well, Right Now Roofing and everything that they're doing for this series and for Goat Locker Racing, we truly thank you a ton. Happy to carry their colors on the side of the car. Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Redbeard Design. Big shout out to Eddie Smith and V Speed Network and everything they're doing. And of course, all the other sponsors that do things here in Goat Locker Racing, from Premier Setups that put the setups together for our Friday night series to Podium Esports, who puts on a phenomenal show each and every Friday night, and then Nazareth 360 that does so as well. And then I got a ton of love for everybody that comes out and gives us, love and support and everything that we're doing. Stay tuned. A lot of great big news coming out of the nonprofit world. But thanks, Eddie. Congratulations to Jake, man. Awesome win right there. Glad I could be up there with him. And then again, awesome racing tonight.
All right. Well, there you have it. Patrick Drabick, 3rd place finisher. Hey, we actually got Mike D'Amico to come into the Discord, and he comes home with a 2nd place. Mike, I man, a really good run. I'm really disappointed that first green white checker didn't go the whole way, because I think you had about as good a start as you possibly could. But a fantastic race for you tonight. Talk a little bit about your race and how you're able to bring it home in 2nd.
Yeah, so Dover is probably my favorite track on the service. I've always loved racing here. Always had a good time racing whatever car, truck, Xfinity, Cup, ARCA, doesn't matter. Uh, it felt like it mainly came down to just dirty air, just sitting behind Jake. Anything he did, I couldn't get any momentum when he took over. I
Yeah.
didn't realize the air was that bad.
Yeah, definitely saw the dirty air be a big factor. But talk a little bit about that first green white checkered. I know if you could, man, just they could have held off, we would have gotten a side by side finish, I think. What do you think was the big difference there? I mean, we haven't seen anybody be able to keep up with the leader like that, especially at a concrete track. What do you think you did right, or maybe what Jake maybe didn't do just great that allowed you to be side by side going into one?
I'm not sure if he spun the tires or not, but I felt like I stayed right with him at the right time. I didn't spin my tires, and I just got that little bit of momentum that I needed.
Well, hey, fantastic race for you, man. Just really cool. And I believe this is your first race, is it not?
Yes, yes, it
Well,
is.
a hell of a way to start out your entry to this series, starting off with the second place finish, and you were there battling up front all night long. So congratulations, man. And who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs?
So I want to thank sponsors Right Now Roofing, Jam Printing and Promotions, Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, Red Beard Design Company, and you guys for putting this on, and Patrick and Jamie for putting this all together with Goat Locker. They really do a great thing. They used to broadcast a series that I participated in about a year or two ago, and I've always tried to get a chance to get into one of their leagues when I have time, and I'm just happy to be here racing with these guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining and talking to us, Mike, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Woo! Well, if that wasn't fun, I don't know what to tell you. You need to just call it a night, I guess. Go to bed. If that wasn't fun, that was a lot of fun. Well, and I'm gonna say fun one more time, but that's what it was. Triple fun. All right, guys, we're gonna call it a night. We got to get out of here. But definitely want to thank all our sponsors one more time. Right Now Roofing, Jam Printing Promotions, Veterans for Life Foundation, Premier Setups, and Cruising Classics for all their support. Pat, Jamie for putting on a great series. Y'all have a good night. I'm Eddie Smith. See you later.